I'm Tim Garland. This is the Trail Connection Podcast. Exploring, learning, and connecting through a love for the outdoors. Talking everything from hiking, camping, and just plain living. This is the Trail Connection Podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Trail Connection Podcast. This week I'm featuring Jamie Watson, who's a coworker of mine who recently quit the company to pursue his dream of thru-hiking the Appalachian Trail. And when I heard about this, it got me pumped, and I really wanted to bring him on the show before he got started and understand what pushed him to do this and what all went into planning this journey and getting him started. So without further ado, let's talk with Jamie. Hey Jamie, how's it going?
Good.
Well, I want to welcome you to the Trail Connection Podcast. How long have you been involved with hiking? Is this brand new?
It's brand new.
Brand new, so never done it before?
Never.
Okay. Yeah. Any kind of like day hikes or anything like that?
I'm diving in the deep end.
Cold turkey. Just jumping head first in the deep end.
Yeah.
That's cool. What kind of research have you done into the project, into doing the hike?
So I've been watching YouTube videos for probably 5 years. And I guess the original thing that gave me the bug was that movie Into the Wild. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to go to Alaska and die in a bus, but
yeah.
Spoiler alert. But that kind of gave me the bug, and then I stumbled on some channels on YouTube, and so I've been following them for, like I said, 5 years, and this one particular one, she's did all three now, so. But I'd stumbled on her right when she had started the AT, so kind of watched that thing, and then I found other ones, and so that was basically what really got me to wanting to do it. And I've had the wanderlust bug for, I don't know, my whole life, I guess. Yeah. But so yeah.
Did you grow up doing like outdoor activities or things like that?
So I grew up in the rural part of Florida, and it was nothing to be running through the woods and making forts and hunting crawfish in the ditches and all that good stuff. So and riding my bike through the woods, like mountain bike through the woods and stuff. So yeah, canoeing and stuff like that down the river. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, it's very easy to get that bug. I mean, I kind of hit this point in my career too that kind of pushed me into more outdoor activities, and so I've just been doing section hikes. I'm not in a phase of life where I can just up and go do the through hike. But what's home life like for you? Do you have kids, or is it just you and your wife, or?
Yeah, so we have 2 kids. It's me and my wife, and then we have 2 kids, but they're both grown. So my son's 21, and he's in the military and gone. And my daughter's 20, and she's lives with her grandparents, so she's gone too. So okay. She helps them out,
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're just at a point where financially and personally we could make this decision, and so I
awesome.
made it. I mean, part of the, my story's not unique. I mean, a lot of people are out there probably the same way, with not happy with where you work. So you're like, oh, I'm ready for change. Mm-hmm. So that came about, and I thought I had a job lined up already to where we'd be moving out west, and that kind of has not happened. But I made my mind up that I was leaving the company at this point, and so once that job didn't come to fruition, it was like, I'm going to leave anyways. Yeah. And so made the plunge.
Cool. Is your wife doing it with you?
She doesn't want to do the whole thing with me. She just wants to do sections. Like she wants to do Virginia, and she wants to do Maine. So, okay. So she's going to kind of be my support with shipping me stuff and dropping me off, and then meet me, whatever. And she's going to do her own thing for however long it takes me to do the trail.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool. Where are you planning on starting?
I'm going to start in Georgia, So I'm going to do the Novo. So, Amacola State Park just like everybody else. So I'll start there, and hopefully in 6 months or less I'll be in Maine.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy for you, man. I'm jealous. I've been wanting to do it. It's just, like I said, it's going to be one of those things where I'm going to have to do it in sections for now. Maybe when my kids are grown, I'll be able to do it with them. But it's an admirable thing, man, when people attempt it, because it's no easy feat. I know you know that. If you've been following anybody who's done it, there's a lot of emotions that kind of run through the whole thing, physical things that'll go through it. But I'm pumped for you, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, it seems to be the everybody is. I mean, I was surprised. You figure somebody's gonna be like, "Dude, you're dumb. You're quitting your job," and everybody's just like, "Oh man, I'm jealous. I want to do that." Yeah. And it's amazing how many people that I've actually heard or like come out and told me like, "Man, that's on my dream list of things to do too." So I guess
you'd be surprised. I mean, there's a ton of people who are just craving to get out and do something adventurous like that. And I mean, I was telling you walking upstairs here, man, if I was in a position, I'd do the exact same thing. I'd quit and I'd jump on it and get going. So what type of materials have you used to kind of get familiar with the trails or the distances and all that stuff? Do you have anything like that, or do you?
Well, I mean, I have like the Trail Conservatory's guide or whatever, and it has everything listed on it, the miles and stuff. But and I'm going to use gut hooks, which seems to be the other thing that everybody or a lot of people says is the best thing to use. So I'll use that out on the trail. So and I heard your earlier podcast, one of your earlier podcasts. I'm like you. I'm not a detailed planner. It's just like, I'm going to get out there and then kind of wing it. And I mean, I've, some of the stuff that videos I've watched multiple people is like, you want to plan, but you can't be like it's got to be, steel clad as in this is where I'm going to stop and sleep and blah, blah, blah. It's more of, you're going to get out there, and then however your body feels, you got to listen to your body. And
absolutely.
So
yeah, that would be my only advice. And I've only done a few sections of it, but the little bit that I've done I've learned a lot. Definitely line up some transportation if you plan on pulling off at all. Get familiar with the different shuttle services up there. There's a lot of guys that live in the area that are happy to come and swing by and pick up. And if there's an emergency, something like that, those are great. Just kind of pull off on a gap, and you can call those people. I'm trying to remember the name of the book now. I did a little short on it last year, but it's it's basically like the official Appalachian Trail guidebook that's got like all the distances, the towns, and all that stuff. Is that what you have?
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah, and it's put out by the AT Trail people. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at Gut Hook's app yet because I was changing phones and I didn't want to put it on there just in case, all that. So, but I assume it has about the same detail. Maybe Gut Hooks has a little more but it's every little thing on there, and mileage and stuff. So
yeah, well, that's great, man. The biggest thing that was kind of a shock to me was just the mileages that are on the signs out there are a little bit off. So I don't know if you got any kind of like GPS tracker for your mileage or anything like that. I used a Fitbit when I went, and it was off. It didn't give me a very accurate reading as far as distances I was going and stuff like that. But when I went with John Krim, he used his iPhone, the GPS iPhone app, and that was a lot more accurate. It wasn't spot on, but it gave you a better idea. And you get out there and you're just like huffing up the hill kind of thing, and you're just like wanting to know how much further you got. It's a good morale booster if you've got something like that. They can kind of say, okay, I only got like 3/4 of a mile left or something like that. But when you're looking at those trail signs, it's like 12 miles, and then you end up hiking 15. But that's awesome, man. So you're expecting to kind of get it done within about 6 months or so?
Yeah. I mean, the deadline is basically October the 15th, but I want to be done well before then. I mean, all that's based on I don't get hurt or,
Yeah.
Twist an ankle or, I don't know, whatever other people have, foot issues, whatever. So hopefully I have none of that. And yeah.
So, what are you looking to gain from this experience? Just kind of a check off the box. I did something that not many people get to do, or is it something else that's kind of pushing you to do it?
No, I mean, the sense of accomplishment of accomplishing this feat and just seeing, nature and what the United States has to offer. I mean, like, this is something pretty special that we do have that most places, you don't have this kind of trail type system set up to where you could go do it, to where you can just walk straight through. Private property gets involved, and so yeah. And I mean, just like I said, nature and just seeing different landscape than I mean pretty much most of my life I've been in Florida, so it's nice and flat, and so see the mountains and so yeah, all of that.
Cool. Do you have a trail name?
No trail name.
You gonna let it kind of just develop when you get out there?
Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna give myself one. I mean, I have nicknames I've had at work and nicknames in life, but yeah, I'll wait till somebody gives me one.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
Yeah.
I kind of took the shortcut there myself, but like I said on the last one, I just wanted to get a good one.
Yeah.
Something that I thought was meaningful to me, because you can get dubbed something that's just not, it doesn't fit,
Well, I'm keeping veto power. I'm not taking some crazy name that I don't want. So I have to veto it. I'll be like, nope, go back to the drawing board.
Try again.
Yeah.
What about what kind of gear setup are you going with?
I mean, light as possible. But not. I mean, just like in every community of hobbies, there's always extremists.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not like crazy ultralight guy, but I've been very conscious of weight. So I mean, but I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a bag and $1,000 on a tent. You know what I mean? Like, which some people can get to, but I didn't want to spend that much money. But yeah, I mean, I guess typical, just light as possible stuff.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of, you gonna go with like a tent or hammock?
Yeah, tent. Got a tent. So I'm gonna go that way. Definitely weighed out the options of hammock, tent. I don't know. I guess you don't really know which one you prefer until you try them, but because one of the things that's factoring in my decision is I really want to take my dog with me, but I don't think, at least the first part, I'm not going to, just because I want to make sure that, I guess enough just to make sure myself is good, not worrying about, a dog. And then I don't know if, especially because then I would have the problem, because in the Great Smoky Mountains, you can't have dogs. So National Park, you can't have dogs. So maybe if everything's going good and I get through there, and then I'll have my wife bring him to me, and he can take the rest of the journey with me. So
that'd be cool, man. Yeah, there's some definite caveats to the whole Smoky Mountains section, because there's the shelter only rule where you got to stay in the designated shelters. And at first, whenever I was looking into all of this stuff, like, that really was a turn off to me. So I was like, I want to set up my own camp. I want to have my own, I don't want to be like cramped in a shelter with a bunch of people, sleeping on a plank, But the more that I've kind of gotten exposed to the community and like involved with the trail and all that, like, there's some pretty cool draw to that, to sense, get a sense of community there in the shelters, and a support system, because you'll be out there by yourself for the most part. I've always gone with somebody, and so you have that kind of coach and push, to pull you along if you're getting tired or worn out. And so to find some people that are kind of hiking about the same pace with you, that you end up at the same places periodically, is kind of something that naturally grows, with the trail community. And so I think that's cool. And so I'm planning on going and doing that whole section through there, just specifically just for the connections, to stay at the shelter. So
yeah, I mean, with COVID, they're recommending that you don't stay in the shelters. But I think in the Smoky Mountain National Park, I don't know how they're doing it, for sure right now.
Yeah.
But I know that is a requirement, is that you stay in a shelter.
Yeah.
Unless they fill up, and then you can set up a tent right outside of the shelter. But
right. I think the whole goal there is just to try to minimize the impact to the areas around it or right off the trail. So, but
it's the most stringent section of the whole trail, and a lot of rules, like there. And then once you get to the end in Maine, that's the only two real super stringent, and then everybody else is just naturally looking out for the environment and stuff, and lower, the whatever, no trace left behind. So
so you're when are you starting? What's the date you're starting?
March the 2nd.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be cool to kind of like follow you along the journey there. I'll keep up with you, and I'm planning on doing some sections this year, so maybe I can line it up to where I can meet up with you on the trail and see how you're doing, and maybe hike a little bit with you. Yeah, that'd be cool
for sure.
What kind of sleeping arrangement you take? You got a sleeping bag, but what'd you end up getting?
It's a down-filled mummy sleeping bag. With a sleep pad for sleep system. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but so I did all my. That's one thing I know a lot of people probably use Amazon as a resource now, and like I went and visited REI over because we don't have one close, it's a couple hours away, and but I was just like, man, I'm usually one of them people that shop around a lot and like always think I can get it for a better price. Yeah. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But so I bought like probably 95% of my stuff off Amazon, and just to try to keep my bill a little bit lower too. But like I did some pretty warm, because I'm a cold sleeper, like I'm just used to the heat and stuff. So I tried to get pretty warm with my sleep system, with like a 0-degree bag and stuff. So
I'm not sure what the snow situation will be like that early. I'm sure it's still going to be a little frosty up there in that area early March.
Yeah, they've been getting a lot of snow, so I'm assuming there's still going to be some on the ground. So
well, I'm sure they'll have a couple chilly nights. Those the Smoky Mountains can get a little nippy up there.
Yeah, and wet. Yeah. If it's not snowing, it's wet. So. Yeah.
Have you ever done like any of the hikes up there at all? Just like day hikes or anything?
I've never been even up there.
Really?
No. So
wow.
I have family in like central Tennessee, but nothing over towards the eastern side. So.
Yeah. Oh man, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful up there. And there's just this like really familiar smell. Like you get up there, it's like distinct. This is the Blue Ridge Mountains. The Smoky Mountains have a very unique smell, and they're wet and foggy and stuff like that. That's why they're called that. But it's just neat. I grew up vacationing up in that area a lot, so when I did it, it was familiar territory to me. But that's admirable, man. Like to just completely go cold turkey, not having any experiences.
Or dumb.
I'm not going to say dumb. I think it's adventurous. That's cool. A lot of people are they're scared to do stuff like this, and so to just take the plunge and you're doing a lot of scary things. I mean, you quit your job and now you're going to a very unfamiliar place for a very long distance. That's admirable, and I think that it'll be life changing for sure. Regardless of whether I'm hoping that you're able to do the whole thing and that you're able to complete it. But, even if you just do a few sections or get part of the way, that's still a pretty great accomplishment.
Well, I'm hoping to get through it, of course, but especially I want to get to the Northeast, because I've spent some time up in the Northeast, but as far as hiking and stuff, no. And that's definitely when the landscape turns to, dramatically different than anything in the South. So
well, one thing that part of the reason why I wanted to jump on the chance to interview you and bring you on the show is because my show is kind of focused more on me learning and kind of getting in on the front end and stuff, and so like you're the perfect candidate to kind of like get my audience to understand like what goes into doing something like this, and then kind of go along the process and grow with you. And so I was really excited when Justin told me that you're going to be doing it, because it's not very often that I come in contact with people who would actually take that jump and go and do it, or if I talk to them, they've already done it. So it's kind of cool to see from the front end and kind of get an idea of what's going through your head before you decide to do something like this, and for my audience to get a glimpse into that. Like, there's a lot of people who are in exactly where you are that are unhappy, and especially over this last year, kind of been pushed into an area that they're not happy with, or that they don't want to continue down that path, and so they're looking for that push to do something adventurous. So
yeah, for sure. And then like I said, I mean, we're lucky now with technology is that we have YouTube, and I mean, people vlog their journeys, and they teach you, and I mean I can't imagine what people did 40 years ago. Like, what did they do? I mean, unless you lived around there, like, how did you decide to do this, and what resources did you have to educate you on what you would need to take? And you know, we're really lucky, and it's almost like, I mean, maybe it gives you some overconfidence of you're like, I got this. You know, I understand what all I need to pack, and I understand what blah blah blah. You know, but I definitely learned a lot from different vloggers. So
yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I'm definitely jealous. I wish that I was at a point where I could do it. So this is what I'd like to do. I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. You said that you're gonna be putting up your kind of document your journey along the way, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna use Instagram to be my journal. Is kind of you know, one, talking to different people and telling them what I'm doing is like one of the recommendations I got was definitely journal your trip. And so I'm just going to use Instagram to do that, and kind of just write a little journal every day, and throw some pictures up there or whatever. And so that's my plan. You know?
Okay, so cool. Well, I'm going to keep up with you on that and follow you. And for the show, I'll probably for this episode, I'm definitely going to link to you, but periodically I'm going to check in on you and see how you're doing. And if you make it all the way to the end, or whether or not you don't, whatever, I want to talk to you at the end of it and kind of get a recap of how you did. And like I said, I'm pulling for you. I hope that you can complete it, because it's a really cool feat. And there's a lot of people that attempt it, and a lot of people that are actually able to do it. And I know for all the ones that I've talked to, it's just like a life-changing experience, and they rave about it. I've never met anybody who said, I regret doing that.
Yeah, everybody, like I said, everybody I've watched, I mean, when they make it to the end, it's like just a sobbing mess, you know, because of the sense of accomplishment or whatever. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you said you're going to put the link to my Instagram on there, but I mean, I can give it out too. It's Jamie, so JAMIE with the underscore WAT_ on Instagram, and anybody's welcome to follow me and see my journey. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll keep up with you, and I'll check in with you, like I said, and hopefully, you know, if I get a chance to get out on the trail and it lines up to where you're at, then we'll try to link up along the way, and once you get done, we'll revisit again, because I definitely want to talk to you after you've gotten out there and hear all about what your first impressions were, and you know, what you learned along the way. That'd be awesome. Yeah. So. But I appreciate you coming on, man, especially last minute. I mean, we lined this up yesterday, so it's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, you just found out about me going, and I mean, that's the other, you know, it's kind of funny when you work with all these different people, but you don't know what's going on in their personal lives. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up, because I had thought about that last night when I was trying to get my thoughts together on some things to talk to you about. And I mean, it's amazing to me how many people share similar interests and similar hobbies that you just never know, because you're so focused on the grind. You know, you're just, you go to work to do your job, and like, unless you're a very social person that just like can change the subject a lot at work, it's hard to get to know people like that in that environment. So, I mean, it stinks that, you know, we worked together for about a year or so, year and a half, and I never knew that you were even interested in something like that. So, but it's cool. I'm really glad that we were able to kind of link up and get talking about it. And hopefully for people listening to the show, you know, this is something that will inspire you if you're kind of on the fence, and you know, follow Jamie's lead
Just throw in
That's right.
throw in that slip, 2 weeks notice, and just get going and get up there on the trail. It's we're getting to the point in the season where it's going to start getting pretty busy out there on the trail. I mean, March is typically when everybody starts, but hopefully it's not too crowded out there, and you can find your own way and find your own pace and kind of get going.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm not super excited about, is that it is going to be busy. But I mean, some people already started in February and stuff where it's snowing and really cold. But March seems to be the kickoff. So and there is resources. That's another good thing. That's like Camp AT. If you go on that website, I don't know if you've been there.
I haven't, no.
But there's a sign up there for people to say, it's a voluntary thing. It's not mandatory, but you sign up, and so you'll kind of know how many people starting the same time you are. So if you want to go and when it's a less busy time, you can map that out. Of course, like you said, March is like, and they limited it to, they reduced the number for Corona reasons, but of how many people could sign up a day, or how many they want people starting a day. But I mean, it's pretty much full of every day in March now.
Gotcha.
So it's definitely if all those people that actually signed up start, then it's gonna be sort of crowded. Yeah, it seems, at least in the beginning, and then people space out and stuff. So
well, that's cool, man. I think there's so much that goes into planning something like that, and it sounds to me like you've done your research, and you kind of got, even though you said you're not much of a planner, you've probably done way more than I did.
I have researched a lot, but I don't plan it out. I just plan like, oh, this is my start date, and then but as far as like, okay, I'm going to be in this campsite at this date, no, it's just like, because I don't know, being a new hiker, I don't know how many miles I'm going to get in a day. And then, once I get going, I'll probably be able to plan more, because I have to give my wife some kind of heads up, like, hey, I need you to ship a package to this place to be there on this day, because that's when I plan on being there. But right now, I can't do that. So.
What's your plan for keeping battery life on your phone and your electronics?
I have a couple battery banks that I'm taking with me, and then from our research, that seems to be sufficient. I mean, people are using them to recharge their GoPros and their cameras and their phones, and so I'm just toting my phone. I'm not toting a GoPro or anything else. So
my first time with that, I took a little solar panel that I mounted on top of my pack, and it doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's too shady in there. So I was pretty disappointed with that, because I was on airplane mode most of the time to keep from losing service, and then because I was taking so many pictures, my phone died pretty quick. I only did a 3 or 4 day trip, but going long distance, I was just curious, because I've heard that too, people taking the battery packs or they just stop off in town and get a charge and that kind of stuff.
Basically you take battery packs, and then they'll get you to town, and then once you get to town, you charge the battery packs and your equipment back up.
Well, cool, man. Like I said, I'm pumped for you. I'm pulling for you. I'm excited for your journey, and we'll keep checking in, and we'll see how you do.
Yeah, man.
So thanks for coming on, man.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave me a nice review there. I greatly appreciate that. If you're watching this on YouTube, also hit that subscribe button and turn on those alerts. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think of the show. Looking for us on social media, you can find us at The Trail Connection on Instagram and Facebook. We share lots of cool photos of nature and some nice deep thoughts about those photos. And be sure to give us a follow, give us a like, check out what we got going on a daily basis. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Tim Garland, aka Mitty, and you're listening to the Trail Connection Podcast.